Good afternoon, guys. Firstly, hope you're all well. So welcome back to my channel. Now, as you can see from the title, today's video is going to be a bulking Q&A. It's kind of like a catch up, sit down. Now, I have been in my surplus, and I thought let's catch up, let's see where I'm currently at, and let's just reassess. So this obviously is my transformation that I did post the other day of my front, back and side shot. Looking at the visuals there, shoulder wise has definitely improved, which I'm really pleased with. Midsection staying nice and tight, which is amazing. Adductors have completely transformed and I can feel them myself. My quads are where I lost a lot of my muscle mass, and I would say slowly starting to come back. I can see that slowly. My back, I would say, is the biggest part that I have changed so far. It's a lot fuller, which I'm happy with. Glutes are popping nicely and quads are kind of coming in nicely. My area that I'm really focused on is very much I want my quads to build back up. Like, I miss having my bigger quads. Delts, I'm really pleased with, because honestly my delts are one of my weakest parts of my body. I basically broke my left collarbone when I was younger, and just like, it's just not that strong. Any pushing movements for me, I really struggle with. So yeah, as a whole, I'm very happy with that physique. So that is like my physique update, and I thought, do you know what, there's always lots and lots of questions with obviously bulking, with obviously scales, with kind of what I'm doing, my goals, etc. Let's sit down, let's have a catch up, let's actually just go through everything. I have whittled this down to, I believe it's 5 or 6. I thought let's kind of keep it short and sweet. Let's kind of not do too many at once, otherwise it's kind of quite overwhelming. Also, I have had my hair chopped. Reason being, I am losing my hair again, which is fun. It's thinning again, so like the back of my hair and then also up here. So we thought let's just kind of go in straight for a big chop to see if it does make it feel a bit healthier, and it definitely feels healthier. So yeah, it feels very strange being this short, but actually I'm quite liking it. I'm quite enjoying it. So let's get into today's video. Please hit the like button, subscribe. If you have any further questions or any videos you want me to film, pop them down below, and we can then get into them in the coming weeks. So anyway, let's go. Let's get into these questions. This bulk, you seem to be staying leaner. Anything you are doing specifically to help this? Okay, cool. So this photo here, I'm 82, just over 82 kilos. Here, obviously right now, I'm around 76 to 77 kilos. In this photo, obviously on the left, my left, is it your guys? Whatever that is, this side here. It was obviously locked down, so I did have less weight to be using. Also, I had a less, obviously, muscle mass. Of course, right now, I did have this time around, I had a better starting position, more knowledge, more muscle mass. So there's a couple of things, obviously, there to bear in mind. On the left, I was training 5 days per week. I wasn't doing any cardio. I was just simply doing steps with the dogs. Now, obviously, I'm doing cardio still throughout my bulk. I'm also training 4 days per week opposed to 5. And then also, I'm still obviously doing my steps. Looking back, I think it's really important to actually make sure that I have got some form of cardio in there, because I was definitely not as physically fit. I'm making sure I'm getting in my cardio weekly. I aim for 40 minutes per week, so I kind of split that up between like 2 times 20 minutes. I would say 8 to 10k steps. Yeah, I dislike cardio, trust me guys, I dislike cardio, but it makes me feel good at the end of it. And also to note, I didn't need to push as hard this time round. Reason being is because I'm not obviously stepping on stage. Now the left side, I was stepping on stage, the food went straight up. We obviously had a time frame to meet. It was like that, right, we need to get this done, this job done in X amount of time, it's got to be done. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it. Whereas now, I can plod along a little bit more. I'm not stepping on stage, I'm purely doing this for me. I'm just going by how I feel. Also, on the left-hand side, I was not doing training or rest day calories. It was simply just straight through, whereas now I am doing training and rest day. So on the 4 days, I eat 3,750 calories, whereas on the other days per week, I have around 3,600 calorie. Protein does not change. That is not me saying you need to restrict on your rest days. Please don't restrict on your rest days. It depends on the person, okay? It's not for everyone. That pretty much is it. So yeah, I would say I agree. I'm definitely in a leaner position, which I'm happy about, obviously, and I'm feeling good. It's going well. Next question, how to not compare how much you eat to others, especially others who eat much less. Now, even if you kind of try to copy someone, you would still look completely different. We all do have different starting positions. We all do have different genetics, different lifestyles, different jobs, different training intensities, different actually training, previous obviously training as well. So never, ever compare yourself. I know that is so easy said than done, but actually instead of looking at someone thinking, oh, I wish I was kind of that, actually take inspiration from it and go, okay, giving you that kind of fuel to your fire. You know the horses that have like their blinker eyes, like when they have obviously their kind of, oh, what is it for? oh my god, it's racing, yeah, it's racing. I should know that. I really should know that. It's that blinker eye mentality, I think, where you're focused on your own lane. You don't kind of divert into someone else's lane. You literally stay in your lane and you have your blinker eyes on and you just don't look at anyone else around you. Keep focused on yourself and keep obviously ticking the boxes, keep focused on those goals and you will get there. It's just a case of kind of being obviously time patient, but never ever compare yourself. It's not worth putting the energy. Put the energy into ticking the boxes and just kind of get strong, okay? I'm really focused on that. So blinker eyes on and get obviously focused. Next question, how quickly did you increase calories and by how much per increase? Now, if you see on the screen here, you will see kind of week 1 all the way up until about week 14. I think I missed one upload. So what you can see obviously is I started at 3,200. The week before, obviously I just got back from the Maldives. Did a week kind of just getting back into the groove of things. Pushed up obviously to 3,200 calories. And then obviously week 2, 3,300. Week 3, 3,400. At this point, I was not gaining any weight. Week 4, 3,500. Week 5, I stayed at 3,500. Week 6 is the one that I missed. Week 7 was 3,650. Week 8, 3,750. Since that point, since week 8, I changed my rest day calories from 3,500 to 3,600. So since about week 8 to week 9, I have not changed a single thing. Now, in terms of how frequently to obviously increase calories, please don't kind of just copy what I've done there. That's obviously based on my own journey. There's a couple of things obviously to look into. So it's not just a kind of case of increase every single week with your obviously calories. The key kind of focus when obviously wanting to build muscle is actually getting stronger. It's not just a case of kind of seeing that scale weight kind of shoot up. And that's the focus why I haven't changed a single thing with my food. Weight is kind of steadily coming up, which is what I want. My lifts are shooting up still. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energized. Digestion is on point. Everything is feeling good. So I don't need to push up. Sometimes on social media, you'll see increase. When in hindsight, it's not needed. It's okay to sit at a point and just stay there and actually just still get stronger. In terms of kind of obviously how quickly and how frequently do you increase calories? Now, this is obviously very person dependent. I obviously don't know enough about you first things first. Sometimes it could be 50, sometimes it could be 100, 150, 200. What you have to bear in mind is you're not just looking for that scale to shoot up. Actually, you need to monitor other areas as well. Body composition as well. Where's your body comp at? Also actually kind of training intensity. Are you still actually pushing yourself? Are you still hitting PBs? There's a lot of things to bear in mind. If you're building muscle, you want to be getting stronger. You need to be getting stronger, and that is key there. Okay, Harv literally just came up to give me brekkie. I have bacon and egg McMuffins to eat. Guys, let me tell you, that was needed. Next question, not a bulking question, but do you ever get insecure when people post comments? It used to really upset me. There was a point when obviously I was on prep and the comments got quite bad. There's been definitely times when it's hit hard, but now I think I've definitely got a lot older and more mature. I think when obviously working on social media, you do have to accept the fact you are going to have some negativity. So in terms of my feelings towards it now, I would say yeah, sometimes if I'm on my period and I'm very sensitive, I'm like, oh, okay, that hit hard. But basically it used to, definitely. Now, not so much. It's probably not the best answer, but that is the truth. So far, that is 4 questions. 4. I used to do it like that, and someone said to me, that's so strange. So I think you meant to do it like this. Now, number 5. How to accept the weight going up on the scales with gaining fat. So looking at this photo here, you can see obviously just below my bra, I would say that's definitely where I have gained some fat. And it is inevitable, unfortunately. If you are wanting to build muscle and you are in a calorie surplus, you are going to gain weight. It is inevitable. You're in a calorie surplus. And I know that can be incredibly hard to hear, but it is inevitable. Now, I think the key focus obviously here is you have to bear in mind it's not permanent. Yes, you're going to gain some body fat, and you do have to accept the fact you're going to gain some body fat. Again, I quite like to look at it as like blinker eyes. That feeling of maybe you kind of not feeling as comfortable, it's not permanent. You've got a goal you're working towards. You will then, when you reflect back, once you've achieved that goal, you will reflect back and be so proud of yourself that you've achieved that. And that really is important, okay? Do not give up. Next question. What do you do when your clothes don't fit? Obviously, that extra small when I was obviously at my leanest, I'm never going to fit back into those clothes. So I just gave them to charity. I gave some to family and friends. I put some on Depop as well. And it's just kind of accepting the fact that I'm never going to get back to that point. Like, never. And I know this is very much a kind of answer, but I simply just size up, and I know that is very much probably not the answer kind of wanting to be heard. But what I'll do is I'll still keep those clothing. If I need to, then I will size up. It's one of those things that you don't have to always get rid of the clothes. If you want to keep the clothes, but don't try and just fit into a certain clothing if that makes you feel uncomfortable. If you are in that similar situation, maybe consider kind of sizing up or sizing down depending on what you need. But remember that you don't have to fit into a certain clothing. Actually, it's okay to kind of change that size. It's okay for our bodies to change as well. So yeah, that is how I kind of personally handle it. I do just simply kind of go by how my body is and what feels comfortable. I am not going to kind of try and squeeze into a clothing because that, like a piece of clothing, because it just does not make me feel comfortable, and I want to feel comfortable. I want to make sure if I'm eating out and or if I'm just going out shopping or something that I'm not kind of in these clothing that I'm like, it's too tight. I actually want to be comfortable and actually I like able to kind of and breathe and not be too tight. So I hope that does answer the question. Okay, so I've actually ended up doing a couple more questions than I planned to, but why not? So do you feel full all day? Are you uncomfortable? How do you deal? So around my cycle, I definitely find like on my actual cycle itself, like right now, I definitely struggle a little bit more. If you actually look at my 4 days of eating, I eat quite similar most days, because for me now with food, where I'm currently at, it's just kind of doing the job. You know, when you're in a deficit, obviously it's a bit more like, oh, food, etc., a bit more exciting. But when you're eating this much food, trust me, I could eat this much food in terms of foods that's maybe more kind of takeaways, etc. It's be easy done, like 3,000 calories, yeah, fine, easy. When you're actually eating 3 over or just under 4,000 calories, that actually is home cooked food. There's obviously got a lot of nutrients in there as well. Trust me, guys, that it's a lot of food. It is a lot of food. In terms of do I feel uncomfortable, I would say yeah, some days if I'm not as organized, maybe I push food a little bit too late into the evening, too late into the day, then obviously my digestion, but like, oh, not feeling as great. So yeah, I definitely have some days where I don't want to eat that much food, and some days where maybe I feel a little bit bloated, etc. But most of the time I feel really good, and I do feel good, and I feel very happy on that food. And I know that when I do go into a cutting phase, that obviously I'm going to have to drop, and it usually does hit like, oh, okay, here comes the hunger again. I'm not starving, like I'm not like, oh yes, I could eat loads, but I'm definitely like a little bit still, I'm still got a good sign of hunger there, which I'm happy with. So yeah, I hope that does answer that question. So final question, your opinion on dirty versus clean bulk, what do you choose? In terms of kind of what I would do, so if you're having, let's say all your calories coming from takeaways, things like that as well, processed foods. Now first things first, there's nothing wrong with takeaways. Please don't feel like me saying that there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with takeaways at all. But if your main calories are coming from that every single day, you are going to find it will impact digestion. It will impact your training, maybe not as optimal as well, maybe just kind of not just feeling as good. Whereas you're having, let's say, 1 takeaway per week, and of course a lot more nutritious foods, and really focus on your fruit and veggies, also focusing on just kind of the quality of food, and of course actually looking at like water intake as well, you are going to feel a lot more energized. It's going to be a lot more optimal. I know myself, I would say I have probably 1 to 2 days away from, 1 to 2 days away from tracking per week, usually 1 meal out per week. So for example, going out for dinner tonight. So I don't like to kind of refer to it as kind of like clean and dirty, just because I think it's absolutely fine to have foods that are processed, and of course have foods that are takeaways, etc. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but everything in moderation. Like, yeah, have one a week. If that feels best for yourself, whatever works best for you, then do it. For myself, I like going out for 1 meal, I would say, per week, maybe with Harv, with family, with friends. Like for example, last weekend, I was a little bit hungover. Went drinking with Harv and his brother. It was really, really good fun. We had a really good night out. We went to a steak place, which delicious, for our dinner, and then we went out drinking, and I went out for cocktails, etc. In the evening I was a little bit too hungover, couple too many baby Guinnesses, guys. They're my weaknesses. I love them. So everything in moderation, I would say, is that key word there. Moderation. Everything in moderation. That is what I like to hear. So to summarize everything, how long I'm coming out, how much longer I've got in this bulking phase, which obviously I've done 4 months now. I'm probably going to do at least another 3 more months, and that will bring me up to July. Yeah, because basically we have a trip at the end of the year that I'd like to be leaner for. So I've got a holiday April with family, which I'm not cutting for. It's a very short kind of trip away with family, and then I think I'll be going away mid-year, but I'm not going to cut for that bulking body. We're going for it. And then at the end of the holidays, when I'm planning on kind of maybe going into a cut, it wouldn't be anything long or too deep, probably like an 8 to 12 week cut, depending where I'm currently at. I'm going week by week, seeing how I feel, going through that, and just enjoying the process. Honestly, I'm feeling really good in myself, and probably the best I've felt in a very long time. Not only physically, but also mentally. I've got a clear goal. I've got something to kind of tick off for myself, not just related to, not just kind of work-wise, but actually my own fitness goals as well, which is good. I needed that. So I hope that has obviously answered some of your questions. Any other questions, please obviously do pop them down below. I love filming these, guys. I love filming like sit down chats. It feels good. It feels good to be back in the groove of YouTube as well. Next week's video, I'm thinking of doing like a day in the life, full day of eating. I have got my mics now, like my mics for voiceovers. I've had them for months, but I've been too scared to film them because I don't know. It's very much out of my comfort zone. Hello guys, welcome to my, like, that sounded like ASMR, didn't it? So I'm hoping to do a video on here for you guys, running through probably like my leg day or something in the coming weeks. Anyway, for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next week. Please hit the like button and subscribe.